Well, you'll never guess what. Welcome to 1111 True Crime Book Time. I got it. All right, so I've read chapter 1. It's the book that shall not be named by Mr. H.B., right? For copyright protection. I can't read it directly to you, but I highlighted the basics so that you know what is the gist of chapter 1. Now, I think there's over 20 chapters, but we're going to come to chat and leave your comments because I'm going to tell you now, it's going to talk about being inside Brian's dad's mind on the trip. Did you hear my Ziggy? He said, don't forget to take out my trash cans. That's kind of weird. All right. He's going to talk about a single engine airplane tracking Kohlberger. All in the first chapter. We're going to get into the last day of KOPACKA and what allegedly happened. Now, before we get into the book, on our book review, our true crime, we've turned into a true crime book review. All right. So, I'm laughing. Here's why. We've got to discern. And that's all there is to it. You either know the case or you don't. Because I'm gonna tell you his sources that he is reporting that substantiate his alleged true story. Now, before we get there, something very serious that we need to consider. Every time a creator on any platform presents a theory, we always need to make it clear that it's in our opinion. If you or me were to say it is fact, which I just had this happen with a fellow creator, it went very awry. But if somebody comes up and they're claiming things to be fact, and in their title they even say, here is the proof, right? Or they go on multimedia and they say, this is fact. But yet, their sources that are named aren't always working off fact. So I have a book of telephone game going on here. Because there was 2 people in the car. There was Brian and there was Michael, his dad, on that trip. And it doesn't matter who you talk to that knew the family. You really, really are adding a lot to the story when you paint an aggressive tone towards someone that is on their trial of their life coming, for their life, and claim it to be 100% truth. So, I'm a truth speaker, and I'm not going to call you out, but I invite all of my viewers to truly discern, do you know the case or not? Because if we're going to allow freedom of speech, we also have to be held accountable if we are spreading false information. But I'll let you be the judge, because I'm not the judge. I'm a fellow creator on this planet. I just choose to make sure that everybody knows when Mama D talks, It's just my opinion. Take it with a grain of salt in everything I do. That's just how I live my life. But without further ado, however you say it, everybody says it different. Don't need to leave me a message. I want to say hello to my beautiful Starlight members as well as my beautiful 1111 family. You guys, we are working on another case I just want to make a real quick mention of, named Sandra Birchmore. And if you would like to maybe be the winner of a $100 gift card, you get to name the place. And we'll buy it as 1111 family and send it to you if you're the winner. Just by going to Sandra Birchmore's death investigation petition. It's absolutely free. You can do it anonymous. But if you'll sign that when that reaches 5,000 signatures, all free. Now keep in mind, Sandra Birchmore was 23 and 10 weeks pregnant. And we need to look at why. What really happened. So I can't get into it too much. I'm going to flip over here just to let you see this. Please support her. Listen to her story. I try my best to get all the details out. It very much involves corrupt LE, grooming. It's coming off the back side of the Karen Reed case because it's the same DA investigator. And it gets horrific. Just saying. So please get that number up for her and her unborn baby. All right, my lovely Luz. Who do we have here today? Hello, Jennifer Swain. Beautiful, beautiful. Are you our only mod right now? It could be. It's a different time of day, and it's on Sunday, a big family day. All right. Very good. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you for modding. I appreciate that. All right. Guys, we're going to get reading. Well, discussing. Annie's mom said, I wonder if the case could be dismissed because of this book. Well, I doubt it because there's a lot of books written. But I do think the fact that he's trying to state that it's a true story, I think that's where his issue lies. He maybe should have said my interpretation, something. Isn't that the B book? Yep. Open Mind Perspective said using something like that, that's a national emergency. It does cost a lot of money to use that type of resource. I'm not sure what you're talking about, lovely. I'm missing something. Annie's mom going back and forth, decorating tips. Oh, I booked my first wedding cake. Well, good. Good. All right. Let's get over here. Oh, thank you, Kathleen. Thank you. We do have some very important special guests that I adore coming up. This coming up July, right? After the 4th. But more details to come. I'll leave you wondering. Okay, we're getting over here. We're going back over. Not reading the title or none of that. I got things highlighted. I tore this book up. That's why I had to buy it. Because you can't do that to the library book. They don't like that. And I'm going to literally get rid of the book when I'm done. Because to me, it's bad juju. We're going to chapter 1. I'm skipping all this other. I read it all, whatever. So the very first thing that the author does is he writes a paragraph that is in italicized. It's italicized. Nobody knows why that is. Maybe because it looks pretty, right? No. I have to know ahead of time that when it's written there and written like that, I have to stop reading after that very first paragraph, and I need to go to page, and I believe it's 220. And he states, italicized instruction is a fictitious blah, blah, blah. Fictitious. I used a variant of fictive, but fictitious, fake. So as a reader, I don't usually go to the back of the book because I'd like to avoid spoilers, right? Kind of feels buried. So that put me off right in the beginning because I happen to have decided to check the back of the book first before I wasted my time because I already felt like I wasted my money. So the first chapter is all about Bryan Kohberger's dad's thoughts. Yep. So it starts off where Bryan's dad has just landed in the area, and it's hectic, and he's tired, and he's got jet lag and all kinds of really quirky little adjectives. But he's reassured because he knows his son's coming to pick him up. All right, I'm good with that. You can make anything you want out of that. Now, he goes on to talk about a very important part that I do believe, because this could be verified today. And he states that Bryan chose to go to the same prestigious university as his sister-in-law, the dad's sister-in-law, so Bryan's aunt. That's what Mr. HB is claiming on page 5, paragraph 1. All right? He then, in the same paragraph, continues to talk about how he refers to his son as Dr. Bryan Christopher Kohberger, and that his dreams are being accomplished and that they can put a lot of the painful trauma of Bryan's teenage years behind them. Where's all this trauma? Now, he uses a word, T-U-M-U-L-T. Okay? Tumultual. I can't even say that word. Tumult. Whatever. Painful. Now, we do know Bryan was bullied. But this doesn't make it sound like Bryan was the one in pain. It makes it sound like the father is the one suffering because of Bryan's teenage years. Like Bryan is the culprit. So I didn't like that wasn't clarified because it's misleading. There's a way about it. Words are important in how you say them. Complicated. That's the word that the mother allegedly uses about Bryan. So I checked. I'm like, what are the sources of this? So let's go. Let's go to 220. Sources. When it comes to Michael Kohberger, sources, that's all it says. Kohberger family sources. Somebody in the family. Press reports that you and I watched. Police documents. Does he have his hands on documents that we don't? Because it's a gag order. Moscow Pullman Daily News. The WSU Insider interview with Sheriff Brett Myers. And federal law enforcement sources. So, who do you think his source is in the family that's related to the family of Brian Kohlberger that he's having these interviews with? I question, could it be the daughters? Could it be Brian's sister, the aspiring actress that wants to make a name for herself? I'm just asking. I'm just asking you. Let me get over here at chat time and see what your thoughts are. Well, hello, A Convict's Thoughts with A.R. Hayes. Hello, sir. I hope you are well today. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Open Mind Perspective says, thank you for so much for taking the time to read and go over this with us, including money out of your pocket to get this book. It's depressing, isn't it? I'm ashamed. But, y'all, if we're gonna get it out there in some form that's claiming to be fact and true only, we have to read it to be able to be credible and say, well, it's on page, because I watched Tommy and Andrew, and he's right, which I've already been reading it before that. But I can't go up in a debate and not read the subject and not understand it. And when it comes to freedom of speech, I believe he should have been able to write the book and say anything he wanted. But in his perspective, his opinion, to claim this as absolute fact, I have a lot of questions about it. So we're going to go on to page 5, second paragraph. And it talks about Michael acknowledging a feeling toward relatives. See, this is somebody in the family somewhere that with all that Michael had went through with Brian, that he was unprepared to raise that kind of a troubled child. I don't know. I'm trying to tell you. This is in the first paragraph. We haven't even got to the single engine plane. We haven't even got close to the Kopacka part. We're on page 5. And I don't even think it started. No. See, it starts on page 3. I'm on my second page of chapter 1. Okay, so then the very last paragraph, which would be 3 of page 5, it's talking about one sister being a psychologist and the other being an aspiring, objective actress. And I don't know who's saying it, but he's making it sound in the book like it's coming from a sister. Could be the same relative. I don't know. But, quote, he says is fact, so he can't get me for this because I'm just repeating what somebody allegedly said. Quote, there's really no telling what Brian might do next. Just saying. So that's how family feels about him. Then he spends about 100 words to basically say that in the first paragraph on page 6 that he was trapped shoulder to shoulder for about 4 days with his son. Trapped shoulder to shoulder. So he's a hostage. He couldn't get out. Trapped means you can't get out. Okay, paragraph 2. Right from the start, he claims that Michael knew something was up. They got into an alleged argument over the itinerary of the trip. Brian wanted to take a long route. He wanted to take a shorter route. He's too tired for this. But at the sheer scale of the powerful intensity of the argument, he felt ambushed and made to go along with the plan. Jennifer Swain says he needs to give specific names if he's going to believe this book. Debbie says hearsay, no facts. Would you say? The sources could be his or one of his uncles or an aunt that lives here in Vegas. I'll tell you, call my aunts. They're not going to know what the hell is going on in my life. They're certainly not going to know what I was thinking about my son on a trip. Right? It's crazy. I feel the same way. Jennifer says, I bought the book to be informed. I hate that I had to pay for it, though. Open Mind Perspective says, I believe Brian has 2 sisters. Yes. IMP, should I wonder which one Howard is talking about? Right. I mean, it's up to you, right? Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Michelle says, come on, we know the book is BS, in my opinion, but there's a lot that don't. And this man hasn't even started trial. So when you've got the crews that are listening to Annie Elise say that Brian shut his phone off at the house, that's what she said. And then you've got Howard going out there selling his a book. You're seeing firsthand how demonizing works, in my opinion. Okay, where are we? Okay, so the argument gets completely out of hand, and the dad is absolutely shut down and just is like, do what you want, Brian, you're the boss. Yep, you're the boss. Because he's so intimidated by his son and shut down and belittled, and Brian's a know-it-all. Even using violet, he says a volatile, but dialect. And he didn't want to listen to it. It was warning signs because of Brian using his unflinching authority. Now we're on page 7 when I'm reading that. All right, so I'm skipping down 1, 2, 3. I'm on the 4th paragraph on page 7. So 4th page of the book. According to the relatives, Brian hands Michael his phone. And it reads, quote, WSU Alert Pullman SWAT team is actively searching or working on the south side of campus. Shelter in place until further notice. And that's basically when fear rose to the surface in Michael, because his worst fears are coming to the surface. We're going to be on page 8, y'all. Ah, there's my Rory. Where's Tommy boy? In golf, We've got Kathy. I just love y'all. Thou shalt not kill true crime with Rory says, Mama D, thank you for doing this. We're doing the whole book. We've now, till this book is done, become the true crime, break it down, book time. Good to see you. Crime Spy 2024 says, I don't believe anything that HB wrote. He would not know the truth if it literally hit him in the face. Spank his face with truth. And that is my opinion. Oh, I ordered us a new mic because our beautiful Sully, who loves us and only gives us constructive criticism, said I need a new sound system. So I just ordered us a mic with one of those handle things that I can move it around. And then I call it a splash pad. A spit guard, whatever. I got one of those. And that's it. Oh, and it's a Yeti Blue. A blue Yeti. So we're going to make it happen because I want my sound to be good for y'all. Mama Fine says, I feel like it should be illegal to publish a book about someone involved on an ongoing case claiming they're guilty before their day in court. I don't see how it was even possible to get published. Excellent point. Yes. So we've got huge announcement on July 9th. Thou shalt not kill true crime Rory and Once Upon a True Crime with our beautiful Tommy Jude, who has my heart because he's just the sweetest guy on the planet. They're coming on our panel. We're going to have them as guests. And I'm so excited. Please get familiar with them if you aren't already. Go check out both their channels. Cy Ray was just on Once Upon a Crime Time with Tommy Jude. Cy Ray and his wife. Check that out. And Thou Shalt Not Kill True Crime actually did follow-up live coverage of the last hearing right there. You got to stay tuned, y'all. It's good. It's all good family here. All right, what page are we on? Page 8. Oh, I got to back up. I skipped something big. Big. Page 7. All right, so we got the fears are surfacing because the radio alert went out. WSU Alert Pullman SWAT team is actively working on the south side of campus, shelter in place until further notice, which we'll see. Rose to the surface in sudden fear. Came right up to him, Brian's dad. Emotions overwhelming. His worst fears coming to light. Even though they've already been traveling, they're out of state, his worst fears. So he gathered the details off of the radio and internet and whatever he could find. And Michael gets a fuller picture of what's going on. And late that evening before, he had been at the apartment near. He had been in his son's apartment, which now he's realizing how close he was to this man that is threatening to kill two roommates. 2. So SWAT came in heavy. They're armored. And they make contact when they get there and get set up, and they're all, in place. They make phone line contact with KOPACKA. And BK, KOPACKA, is talking super fast, and it's not making any sense to anybody. He goes in to say that the other time before this that they had encountered Kopacka, he was argumentative, and even he used the word belligerent, and that he's in a manhole cover. He's underneath a manhole cover. He's yelling from a manhole cover. Okay. I'm just telling you what it literally is saying. We're on page 9, second paragraph. Now, all of a sudden, they're all poised and ready to save the 2 roommates that Brent has allegedly told them on the phone some nonsensical stuff. And the 2 roommates just come walking out of the building. So, allegedly, Kopacka was like, leave before I change my mind. All right? So, they wait and they try to talk Kopacka down. And then Kopacka just starts shooting crazy at him. Just crazy. Starting to hit the armor stuff, the bulletproof stuff. Yeah, you can hear echoes of bullets hitting the armor plating on the vehicles. And you can hear Kopacka angrily screaming and yelling. But you can't tell what he's saying because he's just incoherent. And at 4 o'clock, they take Kopacka out. AM. So I'm on page 10, the end of chapter 1. And this is Howard's big boom that makes you want to just read chapter 2. Because he makes a claim in the very last paragraph, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5th paragraph, page 10, that Michael had no idea him and his son were being followed above them in a single engine fixed wing Cessna 182. Is that true? Is it true? We're going to go over chapter 2 next, but not today. So, did they make phone contact with Brent Kopacka? What are your thoughts? What do you know about the case? Have you watched the footage of the empty apartment that didn't look like anybody lived there? Has anybody local came out and said, well, and how would they know if SWAT fired first? How would they know if any of those sounds were coming from Brent Kopacka? We didn't hear anything like that. Hi, Jamie Vigil. Hello, lovely. Debbie says, can't wait. I'm just saying, I told you, we're going to tear the book up. I can't read it to you, but I can book review everything. In my opinion, what I shared with you is my own perception of what the author was communicating. That's what I, from my perspective, pulled out of his blue book. I don't know, y'all. What was war? And we know Brian had a troubled past because he got hooked on heroin. Why? Because he was bullied. I get it. But how can Howard talk to some far-off relative that isn't under gag order and be inside Brian's dad's head to say something like trapped for hours in this car with my son. Trapped. You don't know if he felt trapped, because obviously every time they got out for gas, he could have left. It really does, it paints a very negative picture of Brian, and the news media is going to run with it. Nancy Grace was like, oh, I read your book. OMG. It's so amazing to be inside the head of a killer. And I was like, Nancy, you're disgracing us. Please stop. Please. It's wrong. The man. Oh. And then I was watching. I was over last night. I couldn't sleep. And I got time to finally sit down and watch a little television. I call it TV, YouTube. And I got on there and I tuned into Tommy Jude and Once Upon a Crime Time. I watched him and Andrew talking and all that. But I also was like, what the hell is HB talking about? Some card that is missing from a lab. And HB claimed that they are worried that he claimed something along the lines that they suspected or they were worried that KOHBERGER was trying to get in the lab to get stuff, acquire materials to make a bomb. It made my head hurt. Okay? I don't know, y'all. Open Mind Perspective said, forgive me, did Howard talk about Brent in the book as well? Yes. We're told that Brent has nothing to do with this case. Why would they put him in the book? Well, I just kind of explained it, lovely. Oh. Okay. In my opinion, says Kim French, Brent Kopacka could have been taken down another way, as like rubber bullets, a taser. I read the whole book on Audible in one day. I'm taking it one chapter at a time, and I'm just discussing that chapter, and I'm not cheating and reading ahead of that chapter. I'm only reading that one so that I can break it down without getting it confusing. And I want to break it down what paragraph and what page, just like Andrew the lawyer was talking, because that way we can fight this a little bit. Because we got to. Hey, Love Tina Lovely. Thou shalt not kill true crime. Hi, Roy. Can they explain the wiped phone back to factory standard? Found face down. Nothing to see here, I guess. He's talking about Kopacka's phone. Nope. He gets out of the book. HB is like, I'm going to abandon it right here after I say all this stuff, with just a stamp of, well, they put a seal on it and that's all we're ever going to know about that. So basically my take on that, my personal take was, so you don't want us to look at that either. Because what you're saying, that he actually held two roommates at gunpoint, could that be proven to be a fact? I don't know. Maybe he did. I don't know. Carla says, unfortunately, in my opinion, Brian will never get a fair trial or an unbiased jury. And we're going to be here to watch it. We just got to pray that God above saves the innocent. Because this is my worry. This is my worry. In my opinion, says What's War, Brent should get a second Purple Heart. Thank you for your opinion, love. Damn, they need to stay away from the dragon, in my opinion, says Elise. Putting the park at a... Okay, not only are they putting the park at a particular address. Yeah, they moved the Waiawai Park. So if they can't... If they can't put Brian at the house, then wherever Brian says he is, they're going to move that name of that location. So if you say you're at Dairy Queen and that's your story and you're being framed, they're going to go build a Dairy Queen, or at least write Dairy Queen on the map right there by the murder house. So that way it puts you there, moves you a lot closer. That's what she's saying. They are definitely bent on not losing this case. They're 100 objection. Right? What you got here? That's going down a slippery slope of HB's freedom of speech is taken away. So is everyone else's. That's true. It is hard because I do support absolute freedom of speech, but I can't get on here and say, listen. Now, I cannot say this, and I'm not saying this, but it would be very wrong of me to say that I know for a fact that the Cookie Monster killed Big Bird with a broomstick. That would be very wrong of me to say. Because even if people told me that that was true, even if everybody in my town was like, did you know that? And then I just call them sources, it doesn't make it fact. Fact is something that actually took place. It's not what somebody told you. It's something that you first hand, or first sight, you saw it yourself. That's fact. And even if you were in the car, I bet you still couldn't tell me what either Brian nor his dad was really thinking. I bet you couldn't. Unless you're psychic, HB. I mean, maybe he needs to get into tarot. Annette says, Jennifer, that's true as well. Sad of it's untrue and on anyone's case. Love Tina says, how does a single engine plane know to look at the whereabouts of Brent and Brian? No, it was only on KOHBERGER. Just Brian KOHBERGER. That's the part he said. He never mentioned a plane at all about Brent at all. Like I said, it was only on KOHBERGER. And that it was following them the whole way. So when did Brian leave? Was it the 15th? December 15th? Is that when Brian KOHBERGER left his apartment? I think, to the best of my knowledge. Jamie Vigil says, yes, Mama D's so right. Thank you, lovely. Totally, Beth. This case is so corrupt. I'm going to take a moment, come up to top side, and we'll come back to chat in a minute. I would like to say that, oh, wait. See this number? See my cursor? Where is it? There it is. See my cursor over here? Over by chat? Well, when we started this, We weren't at 2,500. It was at 2,470 when I signed it. Then we did our video, and we've been trying to help on the Sandra Birchmore's death investigation petition. We've got it up. Everybody in the world here is getting it up. It's at 2,608. All right? So it's come up well over 100 in one day. One day. All right? Now, when it hits 5,000, your 1111 family are going to gift out a $100 gift card to some random lucky subscriber. So I'm very excited about that. And then also, this is a beautiful DVC, digital video camera. Oh yeah, oh yeah. When we hit 30,000, if you are a subscriber and you want to enter the contest to get that camera, just write DVC, digital video camera, right? Digital video camera is to remind you DVC giveaway. DVC giveaway. And be a subscriber. That's it. Just say it. Just say it. Right, Elise, the case is so sad and corrupt in all parties, but scary part is the monster is still running free, in my opinion. Gannon says, Joke City. Are you talking about the book? Oh, you're talking about me, Gannon? Wow, I treat people like they're 5 years old? Why are you here? Huh? You little tater tot? Get out of here. I don't speak down to people. Maybe I'm not as bright as you. I talk directly to people the way that I feel the need to express myself. So skedaddle, you little tater tot. Somebody show him the door. Wow, how rude. Janine Stewart says, per BK's past admission, he was very mean to his father and even beat him up. So maybe? Where are you? Are you telling me? Show me a link where you got that from. I've never heard that in my entire life, that BK told anybody that he beat his own father. And why is there not a police report? If his dad will call the police department, if Brian takes his sister's phone, he would damn sure call the police to report being aggressively DB'd. So I don't buy that at all. Oh, I know who you are, Gannon. Hey, Jay. Yeah. Hold on. It's not constructive criticism. That's just damn rude. And I know who you are. I just caught you on my thing. Oh, yeah, I know exactly who you are. Bye-bye. Just trying to refocus here. Awesome comeback. Right? I know. I agree with you, Janine. How does the gag order not apply to U of I Green writing book? I have no idea. Because they would certainly have what I would call first-hand knowledge being there at the pressers. And anybody that has first-hand knowledge of the crime is covered by the gag order, in my humble opinion. That's right. And I know who Gannon is. It just came up on my thing. So, that was interesting. That's somebody that has lost their mind. Literally, I'm beginning to think that they've lost their mind, and they've literally started stalking my channel and creating fake names. So I got this little tool that tells me who their YouTube channels are, all of them. So I love you. Maybe this Snow Vision post allude to dad abuse. Y'all, if there had been abuse by Brian to his father, we would know it by now. And I guarantee you, a history of DV in that household would have been reported if he's reporting the phone that Brian took. Allegedly innocent, there are many teen father fistfights that never get reported to cops. With the heroin addiction, this mental health crisis, I'm inclined to consider the stories of beating might be true. And you're welcome to your opinion. I just would rather not believe in all the stories, but really look at it and go, do I personally believe that? I don't, but I believe you do, and I believe what you want. I just know in my heart that if that was true, I would have already seen a piece of paperwork. So, being it doesn't exist, we're almost 2 years, and we're just hearing about it today. That kind of tells me a little something. I love you. All they needed to do is subpoena Howard as a witness, and he'd automatically be under the gag order. How would he be a witness? He has no first-hand view. That's why I don't believe his book. He has a first-hand view of people that have a second-hand view and a third-hand view, in my opinion. This entire book, in my opinion, is from somebody else's perspective, if you will. But I don't believe, to me, it's factual. Aw, Jennifer Swain. Thank you, lovely. I love your words. Not only do you put your whole self in everything, you're so gorgeous, or so generous. Aw, thank you, Jennifer. Thank you. I'm sure I don't look gorgeous today. I threw a t-shirt on. It's Sunday. Didn't even do my hair much. Hey, love, Tina. Good to see ya. Aw, I love you, Leslie. Is it Legsy? Let me see how I say it. Can I call you Lex? I'll call you Lex. Allegedly innocent said, do you think, quote, first-hand knowledge might be those who has access to the investigation product? I am so weary of trolls. Sincerely. I agree. Yeah. I would. Jennifer Swain, block the Gannon. We're done with that. Wakentanka says, every single MSM outlet would have been all over something like BK going after his father. Thank you, lovely. Thank you. Allegedly innocent says, I was absolutely shocked by the last hearing. This case has gone upside down for me. I simply do not know what to believe. I have no opinion on innocence or guilt. I'm just confused. Well, just take your time and let your gut be your own guide. Don't let anybody else's opinion influence you. Take everything with a grain of salt. And if you really want your own opinion, pay attention to actual documents and make sure what they say, right? Make sure what they say for yourself. So it's doing your own research and forming your own opinion. Oh, you work today?
I told you this morning and last night.
Y'all, all right. I thought Noah had the day off, but he doesn't. So I got to jump off our live. Let's get over. We're only 3 blocks away. It's a beautiful, but my son needs a ride. I've spoiled him. I love you so very much. I wish you all the best. This has been enjoyable. We're going to do chapter 2 tomorrow. I love you to the moon and back. Thank you, lovely. Where is it? I gotta get all these other screens off. There you go.
When a train whistles far away, and when the cold wind blows, when the lightning in your eyes reveals the darkness in your soul, the world will be reminded of what it already knows. 'Cause the days are gonna whisper, and the months are gonna talk, until the year